Hey Anthony, this is Jeff Kearney responding to your request for a quick little video. I'll try and be short and sharp here. Based in Dallas, as you can tell from the accent, not from here originally, came across from South Africa 17 years ago, so this has pretty much become my home. I'm going to quickly run through the bullets that you sent out in the job spec and just touch on those, and hopefully that'll answer your question. So answer the first three together: financial models, financial forecasts, and do I know Excel? Well, I've been doing this for 25 plus years. I've always been sort of in a financial role or in some kind of a role that requires analysis. And so it's just by very nature, I'm an analytic person. I enjoy looking at numbers and extracting information out of data. So it's what I do. I'd like to think I'm good at it. My modeling capability is I can do as complex models as required. So not just plain vanilla balance sheet, income statement, cash flow. Can obviously do those, but custom design dashboards or drilling down into specific areas, whatever it might be, modeling one thing against another, what if analysis, scenario planning, Excel data tables, do all of that stuff. You have seen my static examples, so hopefully they'll help you a little on that. Accrual-based accounting, yeah, I hope so. I am a chartered accountant with 32 years experience, which is CPA, but perhaps a little bit more. In that it's also got law and economics and that sort of attached to it. But I spent first 11 years of my life at Deloitte, left as a senior manager. Lots of my clients over there were large listed companies. And in fact, I left to become CFO of a $2 billion listed retail company. So I think I'm okay on the accrual side. Previous startup experience, two of those. First one was the reason I came to the US in the first place, was a B2C technology company aimed at the golfing consumer market. We raised $11 million and we grew, and from a mainly A-list investor group, and it included two top 10 golfers at the time, Ernie Els and Nick Faldo. So we were pretty high profile and very successful. We grew our revenues from nothing to $27 million in less than 18 months. Some of that was acquisition revenue, but even so, a lot of internally generated revenue too. The one that probably counts more, though, is the data analytics company that I established in 2009. That was software as a service and a typical SaaS licensing model, aimed at all verticals, but we landed up having, just through serendipity, I guess, having healthcare as being about 80% of our business. And within healthcare, we had major ACOs, we had large rural hospital group up in Washington State. We had a lot of physician practices, sort of multi-physician practices, multi-location practices. So across a broad spectrum, we processed about 400, 500 million rows of data every night. So not the biggest in the world, but not the smallest either. Generally, the nature of the work that we did for those guys was in the area of population health management, and also just measuring and monitoring the meaningful use measures. So I learned a lot about healthcare through that and through my prior experiences, which I'll touch on in a second. But basically, the interesting thing is you guys are all about alerts and getting healthcare information out to individuals and others. That was a primary function of what we did as well. We created the information. We didn't have the tool to actually get the alerts out there. So I do understand the market. I never want to say I understand it well, because healthcare is, as you would appreciate, it's a very, very complex marketplace and it's changing at high speed. Prior to that, I was firstly COO of a medical device company, aesthetic laser company in the mid-2000s. And then in my PE days following that, where I would sort of get seconded to. This is why I've been involved with so many companies, but I was seconded to another medical device company in the sleep apnea market, and I ran that one for 3 years and actually turned that one around from a significant loss to a significant profit situation. The other one was the enterprise software business that we had, the medical billing, the inventory management, the post-acute care, patient management system that I spoke about. I ran that one first as CEO and then as chairman for a 7-year period. So yeah, I do have a lot of healthcare experience. Again, things change in a hurry. When you ask me the questions on the CPT codes, a couple of those things weren't in place yet by the time I joined. But I understand healthcare well enough to be able to slot back into it very easily, and I think I could add value for you there. So I think that that was everything you were asking. Can I speak and write English? Hopefully you can see that. Yes, I can. I think my biggest value add that I can bring to you is that I've spent way more time on your side of the fence than just being some consultant who's imparting stuff that he's learned in theory or from a few clients along the way, but has never actually had to sweat the details. So I think that's my biggest value. I see I've gone way over a minute over here. Sorry for being verbose, but I hope it helps. You guys have got an exciting model and I'd love to work with you. Thanks, Anthony.